Let's go. Let's freaking go. So much to say. Are you freaking kidding me? I sometimes wonder, and I really do wonder this, is LSU even a program? Like, is the news that this school generates, does it even exist? Like, I really do believe it, because on this day in LSU football news, we had 17 different stories, some very serious, some kind of serious, and some that don't have anything to do with anything. It's so freaking crazy because so many of you come to this channel to hear me talk about like the deep LSU stuff, like who's going to be the backup safety and who is the kickoff specialist. But today, I mean, goodness gracious, the feds are now investigating LSU football regarding Title IX discrepancies. And before we get into all the different news stories, let me first say this, okay? You have to discuss serious matters seriously, okay? Now, I'm normally an upbeat guy, but a lot of this stuff is of very serious nature. Also, when it comes to serious stuff, be patient, okay? If anything, and in this regards to any sports story, and this is very important. In any sports story, it is very important that the more serious it is, the slower it's going to take to develop, okay? It doesn't matter what the story may be. It could be Deflategate. It could be Astros cheating scandal. It could be the Penn State story or whatever. With LSU football, you have to be patient regarding any news story. And so many people are quick to fire off, well, Ed Orgeron is innocent and this lady lied or whatever. And the truth is you have to be patient. There are proceedings. There's there's people legally testifying on behalf of the university or this person or that person. Bottom line, be patient. Now, I do want to say this, okay? And I'm not going to say names, all right? Because look, if there's ever anything that is out of the line said on here, it just needs to be coming out of my mouth. So, if someone ever says a dumb comment, I'm never just going to call you out on it if it's of very serious nature. But I do know some people that watch this content that were quick to point out that Coy Moore was a Jesse Smollett. When Coy Moore, from the get-go, it looks as if he told the truth, okay? Based on what was released today, that was crazy. Wild that police officers pulled guns on him that quickly, okay? And look, I don't want to get into serious matters or any story too deeply, but there were so many of you that said, well, Coy Moore was lying from the get-go, when that was not the truth, okay? And I said from the get-go, let's just wait until the body cam footage is released, and once it was released, we finally got to see the other side of the story, okay? I have no agenda when it comes to matters such as that, but it did drive me a little bit crazy that so many people were saying, well, Coy Moore is making up something when he wasn't. That what I saw today, because I was producing my video for today, and when I saw that video, I was like, holy moly, that actually happened. Like, I would be freaking out if I had a gun drawn on me as well. I think all of us would. So this is a key thing, whether it's Gloria Scott, whether it's Miriam Seeger, whether it's the $50 million lawsuit that Sharon Lewis of LSU football filed against LSU. She had an interview today with USA Today via Zoom, sharing her side of the story, which is something completely different than the Coy Moore situation. It's crazy, okay? So if we want to discuss, well, this person should be the starting free safety, or this person should be the starting running back. That's something you could just discuss, publicly. Okay. So it's crazy. So yeah, Coy Moore said in his initial statement months ago during the season that the police harassed him. And look, judging by the body cam footage, in any situation, any scenario involving a case like this, you have to wait till video is released, because that is the only thing we can really judge a situation by. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And I know I'm like kind of like laughing. I was just shocked that video was actually was released. So look, you guys know this channel is mostly about LSU football. Okay, it's just LSU football. But today, if we were not going to talk about it, we would be sidestepping the elephant in the room. So look, I'm telling you, my jaw was to the ground when that body cam footage was released today. So as we always do, your super chats are obviously, the top topic. If you want to continue talking the Coy Moore story, we'll talk about the Coy Moore story. If you want to talk about Ed Orgeron releasing a statement, he is not going to go before the Louisiana legislature or whatever. It's crazy. It's absolutely wild. There's just so much. And Roger with the great comment. And by the way, Roger, we need to meet up. I got your early descent card in the mail. It took a while, but I have it. What happened to Coy Moore? A lot. So look, I don't like talking about this stuff. I mean, it doesn't bother me. I talk about whatever, but I hate that Coy Moore went through that, and the Alabama player that was with them. That is a very scary situation. I also hate that all of this is happening with Darius Geis and Gloria Scott, and now this AAU coach, which, by the way, if AAU basketball coaches couldn't have a worse reputation, it even went lower. The bar couldn't be lower for an AAU basketball coach. And I hate it for the AAU basketball coaches to actually do the right thing. But it did not shock me. This is how bad it is. It did not shock me that an AAU basketball coach was somehow involved with this Darius Geis story. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go through each and every story that was broken today, or that came out today. Okay. Now, a lot of this is a mixture of information that has been shared between different LSU reporters. And this is just the facts. Okay. So what Ed Orgeron did, instead of testifying on Thursday's hearing, Ed Orgeron released a statement saying that he did not recall speaking to Gloria Scott, but he did recall speaking to an individual. Now, was that individual the AAU coach? His name is Clevion Williams. Is that the individual? We don't know. We're still trying to figure out if it was Clevion Williams. Was that him he was talking to over the phone? And then you continue on here with the news. Scott Woodward said that he would also not be testifying on Thursday. Instead, he will also release a statement. Now, Miriam Seeger, who was with Verge Osbury and part of this whole ordeal, she fired back at the Hush Blackwell investigation involving LSU football, which, doesn't shock you. So, look, that story is a mess. It's a total mess. And honestly, if I spend too much time talking about it, you guys are going to get bored, because we really won't know anything until Thursday, when we hear from more people. So yeah, that is very interesting. Now, this is newsworthy. This just came from Andrea Gallo of The Advocate. 2 months ago, LSU was notified of a Cleary investigation. The university is now under a second federal Title IX probe as well, involving LSU football. Okay. Then we get the Sharon Lewis story. Okay. Ed Orgeron did not comment on the Sharon Lewis situation. By the way, BRPD also had their own statement regarding this whole ordeal, saying that both the officers and Coy Moore were scared, which is what escalated the entire situation there. But sticking on this story, Senator Regina Barrow said Orgeron's decision to not appear on Thursday does nothing to speak directly to the actions that occurred or the actions he took. Okay? So, here's a recap here. Okay? And then we'll get into some actual football stuff. Just today, this is via Brody Miller of The Athletic. There is a new USA Today story on Sharon Lewis alleging retaliation, suing the school for $50 million. Okay? Ed Orgeron, Scott Word, and Miriam Seeger all released statements today. The Coy Moore body cam footage was released. The U.S. Department of Education launched the investigation, which we just mentioned. And then on top of that, we get an Eric Gilbert update, which, by the way, I don't think some of you have recovered from the Eric Gilbert drinking game on Saturday, which basically involved Eric Gilbert's name being mentioned. He always finds his way into the live stream. No drinking games tonight. We might do another one on Saturday. It's fun. If you're drinking beer or Capri Sun, it doesn't matter. Drink responsibly. Look, Ed Orgeron said there was a meeting with Eric Gilbert, and it went well. So I think things are trending a little bit better for Eric Gilbert coming back to LSU football. Now, does that mean Eric Gilbert plays this year or the next year, or what's going to happen there? I don't know. I'm done guessing. So there you go. Wild day. This is one of the wildest days. Like, I don't understand it. I don't understand it. I know, Tyler. It's wild. And look, I know this is a political answer, but it's true. I have friends that are police officers. We all do. We have friends that are first responders of all types. The Coy Moore body cam footage really shook me to my core. I'm not gonna lie. I just couldn't imagine being an 18-year-old individual, or 18 or 19, whatever his age is. I just could not. I just could not imagine that happening. I just could not imagine that. So we'll see. Why has Sharon Lewis waited so long to file? I don't know. Once again, I am not a for real reporter. I'm a college football analyst. I am not a lawyer. I am not Andrea Gallo, an award-winning reporter. I'm not any of those things. I just go by what reputable reporters tweet out, okay? Brooks Cabuena and Brody Miller. I follow those two probably the most when it comes to serious news such as this. I also follow Andrea Gallo. She was a friend of mine in college. She's a fantastic reporter. And look, I can't speculate why Sharon Lewis waited so long to file. It's weird, right? It's weird that it took this long. The sequencing of events is strange, but then again, you got to remember how hard it is to get a job that she has. Like, and this comes from a perspective. It is so hard to get a job in sports. It is so hard to get a job with an athletic administration. And look, it's sometimes when you're in the middle of it, you're afraid to speak up. So it is what it is. Joshua, thank you for your super chat. You said Eric Gilbert, LOL, my cousin. Yeah, exactly. We all have, we all respect police officers. Well, I do. I know a lot of you do, or I would hope a lot of you do as well. It's a very difficult job. I think what happened here with the Coy Moore situation, though, is really sad. It really is sad. So we'll see. We'll see. and like Ben says, everyone has different experiences regarding this. Look, it's scary. What happened with Coy Moore is scary because look, some people fabricate and they actually lie what happens with police. And Coy Moore did not do it. The body cam, in a way, proved himself to actually be telling the truth. I know it's not. It's a scary narrative, but that's what happened today. We say out of Nick, we say out of Cody, we say out of Leonard, we say out of Josh, we say out of Cliff, we say out of Tyler, Eric. Once again, Josh, it was your super chat. You can talk about whatever you want. Also, in our video earlier today, we talked about the college football playoff expansion. Kevin says the kids were hiding behind the truck. So that's what that's what the police said. And look, it sucks, right? You don't know what they could have behind the truck or whatever. Still, could that situation have been handled better? Probably so. So, the BRPD chief said, look, our guys were fearing for their lives. They were fearing for those lives. It's a scary situation. And I know this is not how we normally talk on this channel, but it's a scary thing. So, and, who am I to say how police officers should do their jobs? I'm just saying that body cam footage was crazy. I watched it a few times over, and there was different angles. We'll see. Exactly. I mean, you don't. You honestly don't. But we move on. Unless someone super chats a Coy Moore thing, I'll move from it because I don't know. It just scares the bejesus out of me. So we'll see. Coy said it was racially motivated, so that was also false. Well, look, I can't judge someone's intent. You can't prove intent, but I don't want to say what was on the cop's mind in that situation. So look, this is a pro everyone channel. I'm it's not what I normally do here, but it is newsworthy because it happened. Okay, this happened to him during the season. So you can't know. You can't know if something is racially motivated or not. Okay, but it's still. Ben says Jay Ward to free safety. We'll move on. If we can all just move on, it's fine. I spoke my piece on it. Josh says, what was your favorite thing at Buc-ee's? Okay, so to move on, I will answer this. My favorite thing at a Buc-ee's is the salted almonds are amazing. But my favorite thing about a Buc-ee's is the one that I would go to. They have a brisket chopping person at all times in the middle of the store. Now, Leonard, I know you travel a lot. You've probably been to 1,000 Buc-ee's. I don't know if they have that at all Buc-ee's. I don't know. But look, I am going to move on from all that serious stuff, okay? Because look, I am an LSU channel. I cover everything. I always say I save serious stuff for live streams. There's a lot of serious things that happened today. So unless you super chat a question, I won't go back to it, okay? And I think most of you guys that follow the channel, you don't have some kind of serious agenda. You're not one of these crazy people, radicals or whatever. So we'll just get back to talking LSU football. But like I always say, if a very serious matter is LSU football related, we'll touch on it. So regarding the Eric Gilbert thing, because that is newsworthy, okay? And Josh did super chat about the Eric Gilbert story. Look, I'll say this about AG2. I don't know if it's the best thing to bring him back, especially if it involves him having to play the very next season. Also, you got to factor this in. If you do bring him back, what is the message that it send to the rest of the locker room? And you also got to factor this in. You never know if he's going to be available for you. Okay? So, look, if that is the case, remember, LSU is limiting their scholarships to 81 scholarships because of another off-the-field thing that happened involving Odell Beckham Jr. and the Vidal Alexander situation. So, you understand, if you bring Eric Gilbert back, what if he can't stay eligible? What if he can't stay on the team? What if he can't keep everything together? Then you lose one very important scholarship. Cliff, okay, we're moving on. I know a lot of you guys could get passionate about those things. I'm not trying to please everyone. We spent the first 20 minutes on it. We'll move on. Okay. Now, look, I'll say this. The Colorado thing was scary and sad, and I'm for all the victims. I just don't want him to, Esteban says, I just don't want them to bring him back and just give him his starting role right back from the jump. I don't think that would happen either. No worries, Jake Johnson's coming. I hope. I really do hope. I'm a big Jake Johnson guy. This is a Jake Johnson channel. I'll say this. Is he the most important recruit for the class of 2022 for LSU to get? No. That would be obviously Walker Howard, and he's already committed. Look, I still stand by this. Of the uncommitted prospects that are out there, more so than Denver Harris, more so than Devon Campbell, I do think Jacoby Matthews is the most important 2022 prospect, and Jacoby Matthews did release his top 6 today. LSU was there along with Texas A&M and some other SEC schools. So we will keep you. We'll keep that up to date. Obviously, to me, he's the number one uncommitted prospect for LSU to go get. Number 2, I would say Emory Jones, focus on Louisiana. And then after that, you can go after Von Campbell and all those guys. Quinn Ewers, kidding. LSU to get Quinn Ewers. But still, Walker Howard, Will Campbell, as long as those 2 guys are committed, you're looking pretty good. As long as you don't lose 1,000 different prospects. Now, Shaz Preston's going to be interesting over the next couple of months and potentially years because he looks to be a pretty good wide receiver. So we'll see. We'll see about it. Josh just wants to talk Buc-ee's. If you keep super chatting, we'll keep talking Buc-ee's. Yeah, I mean, shucks. I like Buc-ee's a lot. My only problem with Buc-ee's is they don't let 18-wheelers in, and those are the people that really need a good truck stop. But they don't want truck drivers in Buc-ee's. Marcus says here, and by the way, I do want to add, Marcus did also super chat on our video earlier, so I appreciate you, Marcus. I think you bring in anyone who helps you with no special privileges, same business approach as LSU uses to attract others, up to the staff to evaluate likelihood to contribute factors. I like that. Look, and this is probably a good example to live by. And I had a question in the last live stream. Should we start Mason Smith from day one? And the answer to that is probably not. You want to work your way into the lineup slowly. And Joseph Evans looks to be a guy that we have to keep an eye out for. And look, I like Joseph Evans' story a lot. I really do. But what I would say to people that, say, well, Joseph Evans is not a 5-star, 4-star, 3-star, whatever. I just hope that LSU finds a defensive tackle rotation that they are comfortable with. Let's see. Someone said Shamar Stewart. That's true. That the 5-star defensive lineman. I think of the 5 stars for the class of 2022, Shamar Stewart, judging by the recruiting reporters who know way more about this than I do, it looks as if Shamar Stewart is the most likely 5-star out-of-stater that LSU can get. They've been on Shamar Stewart from the get-go. That's a good question, Esteban. Why didn't LSU go after the Smith transfer out of West Virginia? Good question. Very simple answer. The West Virginia defensive backs coach was hired away from West Virginia to go to Georgia, which then led the safety to transfer to West Virginia. So, look, this is a very important thing to note, and why, like, Andre Carter is so important, and Blake Baker and all those guys. You spend more time with your position coach than you actually do your head coach. Okay. This is how it normally works in a college football program. The way it was, the way it's normally explained to me. The first thing is, you spend the most time with the strength and conditioning coaches, right? Because they can be around you. There's no limit as to how long you could be around your strength and conditioning coach, if I'm not mistaken. Then the second coach you spend the most time with is your position coach. And then the third person you spend the most time with is the head coach. But your position coach is the one who you talk to the most. They're the ones that normally recruit you. So it is hard to get a transfer from a program who's transferring to a new program because their position coach went to the new program. So there you go. Okay, there you go, Esteban. I'm glitching. I'm sorry if I'm glitching. By the way, Haley wanted me to let you guys know we are moving soon. So just wanted to I know it's kind of like a big news story. We are moving. The ice damage was too much. So we had to move on. Desmond said, did you get my Cash App from Saturday? No, Desmond, resend it. What's up, Ben? Let me see. Let's see if I got it. Yeah, Desmond, I got it right here. Who should start on the O-line? Okay, let's go to that. That's great. That's a great question. Malik Agbo, I don't know a whole lot about him. I read something on 247 about him. So we'll see. Now, Desmond, I have your question right here. If you want to send the Cash App, be more than be my guest. Be my guest. I'll be Lemure from Beauty and the Beast. I didn't think I'd get a Beauty and the Beast reference in for tonight. I don't think we need to bring in another safety. Just signed 2 of the top 5 for 2021 and Matthew Langlois. And we have Matthews in our backyard for 2022. Well, Jacoby Matthews is a big if. I really do think he's interested in going out of state. In fact, one of his teammates actually watches our channel, and they said Jacoby Matthews is a leader, and he thinks for himself. So, look, I'm sorry. This was a big thing for me because I didn't grow up in Louisiana, but my whole family was from Louisiana. I wanted to go outside of the state, even though all my best friends went to the University of Arkansas. I never wanted to go where they all went. I always wanted to go somewhere else. And sometimes a change of scenery is what some recruits want. So do I feel comfortable with Jacoby Matthews coming to LSU? I do, because 5 stars in Louisiana normally come, but it is what it is. But you are right. You should feel good with Derek Davis Jr. and Matthew Langlois. So let's go to Desmond's question. Who's going to be on the starting offensive line? So the offensive line, according to what Ed Orgeron has said, they are going to start the same 5 next season, according to what Orgeron has let us know. It's going to take someone to really outperform the starting offensive line to get into the starting lineup. But as many of you know, I am not a huge fan of what the offensive line put on film yet last season. So, look, as of right now, it's going to be Dare Rosenthal at left tackle, Ed Ingram at left guard, Liam Shanahan at center, Jason Hines at right guard, and Austin Deculus at right tackle. Ed Orgeron has said that Anthony Bradford has been the one player who has showed out the most in spring practice. So if there is someone to win a starter's job, it would be Anthony Bradford. You would think it would be Cam Wire, though, since he started all those games last season. And when Chasen Hines got hurt against Florida, it was Cam Wire who went in at right guard. And guess what? The offensive line performed better when that happened. So of the offensive line, I think Chasen Hines is the one that struggled the most. I do want to add this one thing, though, about Chasen Hines. I went back and watched some of his clips from 2018, and the dude was a freaking beast when he played left guard. But this last season where he played right guard, it was a mess. It was really bad. Chasen Hines spoke to the media. He said he's working on his aggressiveness and all those different things. I hope it works out. Like I always say, I want the LSU football players to be at their absolute best. These are players with hopes and dreams, and I hate criticizing any LSU player, but Chasen Hines really struggled last season picking up blitzes. He got pushed around at times, and it was just a mess. Now, the whole group wasn't all that great, and Austin Deculus himself has brought that up. So, look, start the same five. If that's what you believe is the best course of action, let's do it. But if they begin to struggle, unlike last season, you need to replace those guys with some of these other backups because they were 4 and 5 stars for a reason. Anthony Bradford, obviously Cardell Thomas is going to be the popular name. But guys like Marcus Dumerville, Marlon Martinez, Xavier Hill, whoever, Charles Turner is a guy they say is the backup center right now. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. So, Desmond, let me know if that answers your super chat. Thank you so much for your donation to the channel. Once again, if you Venmo, Cash App, or super chat, it is your discussion. Whatever you want to talk about, let us know. So, a few of you have asked questions about Robert. And for those that didn't know, Robert is one of our most loyal viewers. He sent a $100 super chat from this past weekend, while at the same time letting us all know that he has a cancer diagnosis in his head, and he went through surgery today. Now, I know this is kind of somber and kind of scary, but I have not heard from Robert since then, and apparently it's a pretty serious surgery. So if you do believe in prayer and or just positive vibes for the non-religious types, please keep Robert in your thoughts. I was able to call and talk to Robert this weekend for the first time. He is in positive vibes right now, so I really hope he's okay. I really do. I know some of you loved Robert's comments on here, and I'm hoping for the best. It's kind of weird because I don't get to meet any of you in person. Hopefully that will be able to change soon. But, you know, he's in Houston. He's in the care with great doctors. So back to LSU football. Let's see. I don't know, Cody. Some of this, sometimes, so let's take Chasen Hines, for instance. He's been in the program. He works his tail off. He does the right thing on and off the field. So sometimes you can get emotionally attached to guys and you don't sub them out. You're afraid. But we'll see. We'll see. What's up, Paris? Yeah, I know, Marcus. I hate because, Marcus, I know you knew Robert from the comments. Daryl, what's good? Daryl just said LSU wins fourth quarter in SEC West because of the experience, depth on the offensive line, had a coach. Yeah, very interesting. Esteban makes a comment about Baylor, and I know you're talking about George Munoz coming back from Baylor. Yeah, he's a Tiger. He'll fight and win. Yeah, for real. Let's see. First thing, and this is the only college basketball thing I'll mention. By God, Baylor. Wow. It was just kind of crazy, and this is the only thing I'll say. 2 guys from Louisiana on their starting lineup. 2 guys. Will Wade, what's up with that? What's up with that? Will Wade, get the bag ready. 2 starters on Baylor from Louisiana. They were both top 100 recruits. Huh? God. And they were, and the thing about those two guys, they were tough. They played defense. They rebounded. What LSU needs? But that's the only thing I'll say, because it did make me feel kind of weird. It's like, Baylor's winning with Louisiana guys? Get the daggone bag ready. I'll be the bag man. I'll drop it off in a McDonald's bag or an Arby's bag. Doesn't matter. Taco Bell bag, a bag, a Brookshire's bag, an Albertson's bag. I will deliver the cash. Okay? In fact, super chat me $1,000 and that. But no, it's funny to joke about, but congrats to Baylor. For you Baylor Bear basketball fans. For those of you that won your bracket pool because you picked Baylor. There we go. Marcus says, especially with Austin not being as mobile, that's going to be the side that gets more stunts. Yeah, from your left end, that makes sense. Especially considering if Max Johnson's a quarterback, he's left-handed, that becomes your blind side. Yeah, a strong peach emoji offer. I stayed away from the final. Marcus, you sharp. You were betting Gonzaga the whole way, and then you stayed away. That was crazy. Gonzaga was a 4.5-point favorite. I'm fired up tonight. I'm feeling good. Sure, my program that I love more than anything else on this planet is under multiple investigations, but life is great. I mean, goodness gracious. That's right, Durrell. That kid, Jarreau from McDonough 35 in New Orleans. Chip Delvin Bro area. CJ504 FBA, what's good, man? Everybody welcome CJ504 FBA to the chat. It's my first time seeing you, man. Welcome, dude. Hope you subscribe, like all the content. By the way, we are close to 4,000 subscribers. And when we get to 4,000 subscribers, we're giving away, it's in the other room, I don't want to get it. We're giving away that autographed rookie card from Thaddeus Moss himself. You're going to win it if you subscribe. If we get to 4,000 subscribers, one of you guys in the chat will win that card. Leonard says, is there any other college programs? No, LSU is the flavor of the day. All programs are eventually going to get this. It does seem like it that, you know, you have all this bad news. But like I said, I moved on. I spent the first 20 minutes talking about it, and it sucks. It honestly sucks. And the reason this is something else that really sucks about it is so many people have preconceived notions of what they want to be true. They have their own narratives that they want to be true. That's why you got to let these stories play out. When bad news like this happens to your program or your professional team or whatever, you legit have to take a deep breath. Don't tweet out some hot take. Don't produce some video saying F that person and F that person. You legit have, and I used to be that person. I used to be that person that said, no, this can't be true. I don't want it to be true. Carter the Power Hour is the future SVP. Oof. I love Scott Van Pelt. I got to work with him on ESPN Radio for the Super Bowl, the Ravens 49ers Super Bowl. I got to work with him. Got to work with Colin Cowherd, another hero of mine. Got to work with Mike and Mike. Met a lot of crazy people. I met Mike Ditka. I met Jerry Rice, Frank Caliendo, who was the coolest, but still. So, yes, let me first go to CJ504. He said, long-time listener. Okay, well, thanks for your first comment. I appreciate you, man. Feel free to comment whenever you want. So the sleeper in the draft, he's not really a sleeper, but Terrace Marshall is going to be really good in the NFL, especially considering he's going to go at the end of the first round. What you don't want to happen, okay? What you don't want to happen, and I really do mean this, after praying for Robert and his cancer surgery in a less serious but kind of serious prayer, pray to the high heavens. Pray to anything that you might believe in, any metaphysical being. Pray with your family members, your friends, your dogs, your pets, your imaginary friends, your side chicks, side dudes. Pray, pray, pray that Jamar Chase does not go to the Detroit Lions. I would die. I would go crazy if Jamar Chase gets drafted by the Lions. I will vomit. I will hate it. I will hate myself. I will jump into a pot of live boiling crawfish if that happens. That's how angry I would be. I freaking love Jamar Chase. He's my phone backdrop. I love this guy. If he goes to the freaking Lions, which is head coached by the dude that said, I'm going to eat your heart out, or whatever it may be. The Lions, whose offensive coordinator was the worst head coach in the NFL last season. The Lions, which are quarterbacked by Jared Goff, who has the same output as these cardboard boxes that are right beside my desk here in my studio, which also happens to be our laundry room. Jared Goff is as productive as these boxes that are carrying nothing right here. If Jamar Chase goes to the Lions, I will freaking cry. I will freaking cry. Freaking cry. I will freaking cry. I will be that sad. He can't do anything with Jared Goff. He can't. Freaking, what is that? But now the mock drafts are saying Jamar Chase is going to go to the Lions. There are 31 other teams I'd rather him go to than the freaking Lions. The freaking Lions. The freaking Lions. Did you hear me? The Lions. Now, obviously, we all want him to go to Joe Burrow. But if you're the Bengals and you have the opportunity to take your number one offensive tackle on the board, it's kind of hard to pass up on that. And now, look, as biased LSU fans, we want Jamar and Joe to be together. Okay, and I think that's what Jamar wants as well. Okay? The freaking Lions. If Jamar goes to the freaking Lions, drives me up a wall. Chris Coase, Max Super Chat. What's the word on Ed O? Man. God, Ed Orgeron's got himself in a jam, doesn't he? You know, there's going to be debate whether or not Ed Orgeron should show up on Thursday or whatever. Like I said, what was released today? Okay, Max, I know you're just joining us. You super chatted it. Once again, be patient with this story. One fact, okay, that we need to determine with the Ed Orgeron case, did he or did he not speak with the lady, Gloria Scott, involved in this case? He said he has no recollection of speaking to her, but to an associate of hers. She says the opposite. She said she spoke to him with Darius Geist in the room. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what the second Title IX investigation is going to uncover. I don't know. We'll see. What's up, Trey? But yeah, Max, hopefully that answers your question because, once again, we'll see what happens on Thursday. Thursday's going to be a big day. Okay, so it's not tomorrow. It's Thursday where we'll have another Louisiana hearing or whatnot. Look, a lot of you are saying Bengals should take Penei Sewell. I think Rashawn Slater would be the more likely scenario, Big Ten country, whatever. Daryl said he's going to the spring game if C-19 doesn't prevent it. Are they selling tickets to the game? I don't know. That's it, Max. It's still he said, she said. Okay. I think the bigger story from today, outside of that, is the lawsuit that Sharon Lewis filed today. That is very interesting. But once again, I said this earlier. A lot of you here just to discuss LSU football. I don't want to keep hammering home all the serious stuff. But if you super chat, I'll talk about it. Jerry would love to reel in Jamar. He has the Cowboys' full attention. Oh, so you're saying if Jamar Chase falls to number 10, which could happen, that is not out of the equation. Because think about all the talented players. So if you're in the camp that believes 4 defensive backs are going to get selected, 4 defensive backs, 4 quarterbacks are selected in the first 4 picks, then you got to think of all the other talented players that are there. So Dallas is currently at pick number 10, and more than likely Dallas is going to take a corner. But if Jamar Chase falls to them at number 10, why not? F it. Go all in on offense. Cody, you definitely should go. And this goes to anyone else. If you have the means of going to the Rose Bowl while also getting to experience LSU football, you got to do it. The Rose Bowl is the most gorgeous college football experience I've ever had in my life. Okay, I thought nothing would ever top an LSU game in the Superdome, but the Rose Bowl is truly a magical place. Now, it doesn't top the Superdome with LSU because obviously, different circumstances. But when you're just talking about a college football stadium, the Rose Bowl is just so majestic. It really is. Much of this, yeah, I agree with you, Marcus. LSU's not playing UCLA the first game no more? Well, no, they're still on the schedule, but UCLA is not playing LSU in their first game. I don't know if that's the point you're trying to make. Yeah, that's true. Let's see. I'm reading to see if there's any other news. Cliff, thanks for the retweet as always. UCLA's attendance has been. That's what I saw one day that no, it's not canceled. Now, this is newsworthy, though, that UCLA is not playing LSU the first week of the season, though. They play Hawaii the week before they play LSU. So UCLA will have a game in hand versus LSU. Now, we could debate whether or not that's an advantage for LSU or is that an advantage for UCLA. I don't know. I don't know who that actually helps or hurts in that scenario. You can make an argument for either or. You can make an argument that starting your first game with no film or anything is actually better. Some would say playing the first game to get your communication and everything down packed is also a good thing. Nick, it's probably not true. Here's the thing. And this actually happened the other day with one of my friends. So one of my friends is kind of like Marcus. Okay. He's a very successful guy who loves sports. Okay. And Marcus, I say Marcus, my friend, he lives in DC. He is a huge Arkansas Razorback fans. Okay. So look, since he's a huge Arkansas Razorback fan, well, they're all high on Eric Musselman. Okay. Well, his dad sent him a message that Eric Musselman took the North Carolina job, which he didn't, okay? That's obviously false, all right? That would have been a huge news story. You would have gotten an alert on your phone from ESPN or anything that said that Eric Musselman took the North Carolina job. That's an A1 college basketball story, okay? So if the LSU and UCLA game had gotten canceled, and this is just a simple rule to live by, if something really serious happened, you would know. You would simply know, okay? You would see a video on this channel about it. You would have seen one of the 30 reporters that cover LSU football every day tweet about it. So when there is a big story, you're going to know about it, okay? Now, if you just hear something that says, well, the game got canceled, then, it could be true. I'm not saying it's not. It's just highly unlikely. Music, what's good? I'm late. What was the news? No news. There was no news today. Look at that. See, Breezy's in the chat. In the chat. Forever, ever, ever. I'm a big Chris Brown fan. Obviously, I almost said off the field issues with Chris Brown. Off the stage issues. Is that the right term? But no, I'm a fan of his music. Okay, it's hard not to be a Chris Brown fan of his music or whatever, because that dude's gotten so many bangers. But Chris Brown, you're all right. Chip is going to test those safeties. Carver says our defense is going to be special, or he said it should be special. It should be special. I agree with you, man. Let's see here. I know, music. It's unfortunate that he was an idiot. That was kind of the weird thing, though, during the Versus battle this past weekend. They were doing the Isley Brothers versus Earth, Wind, and Fire. Obviously, both of those bands are like two of the greatest bands of all time. And then they played Contagious, okay? Now, I know I'm going to lose you guys. Just give me 1 second. They played Contagious, which was written and produced by R. Kelly. It's one of the best love-making, baby-making songs of all time. But, during the live stream, they're like, we're not going to discuss R. Kelly on here. But, like, R. Kelly, I mean, he's a horrible human being, but he wrote that incredible song. Get pressure on the QB, attack at the safeties don't matter. That's true. That's true. Look, should LSU's pass rush be better next season? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Ali Gay, Emily Valaire did an interview with him recently, and it was really good about how fortunate he is to get to play LSU football and how he used to always watch the Tiger Walk. His story is incredible. I hope a big season from him. And look, we're going to need it. It's going to be interesting to see what LSU's cheetah package is going to look like on 3rd and long situations when they bring in 4 defensive ends to rush the QB. That's going to be fascinating. I would figure that the lineup would be Ojolari on one end, Alligay on the other end, Andre Anthony as one of the defensive tackles, and maybe Mason Smith as the other defensive tackle in the pass rushing package. Maybe Xavier Carter as one of the pass rushers in the pass rushing package. We'll see. We'll see what Daronte Jones comes up with. My outside the box idea in the cheetah package would be, and if Daronte Jones has seen this film, what I would like that package to look like would be, one defensive end be BJ Ojolari, the other end be Ali Gay. The defensive tackle in that cheetah package would be Andre Anthony and Damon Clark. Damon Clark as a pass rushing specialist was really good in the Dave Aranda defense at the end of 2019. He would be a very interesting player to put in that package. Or Philip Webb. I saw Philip Webb getting, for those that watched our practice footage from Monday, Philip Webb was getting some work in with the defensive tackles. So we'll see what happens there. Derek Sr. was high on Smith at wide receiver today. He's moved back from linebacker. Deion Smith, okay, that's good. Unless Mason Smith got moved to wide receiver. That's good stuff. I didn't get to listen to T-Bob and Jacob today, but one of you mentioned this to me. We were talking about Derek Stingley Jr. in a recent live chat. Like, we need him to step up. We really do. And, I think Stingley, from what I was told, that Stingley said, look, I need my son to step up as well. This is a big year for Stingley Jr. Look, I think NFL scouts are kind of meh on here. Oh, Devonta Lee, that's right. Yeah, back at wide receiver. He got confused with Devonta Smith. Okay, that makes sense. I was about to say, because I was like, Deion Smith moved to line? No. Stingley, right? Can he stay healthy? Will he be a leader? Will he be more vocal? We'll see. We'll see what happens. You know what, Tyler? I kind of agree with that, but I also don't want players to do something that they don't feel comfortable doing. And what I mean by that is, if you're faking being a leader and you're not really a leader, people will see right through it. Okay? So that's very important because, look, you could spot a fake from a mile away. This is actually something in comedy. It's weird. You can always tell a comedian if they're doing their own material. You can always see a comic that's not really doing stuff that's them or their normal material. You could just see it. Same thing's kind of true here. If someone is not a leader, but they're faking being a leader or faking being themselves, I agree with you, Tyler. Stingley does need to step up as a leader. And I think his dad is what the message I got this morning was that his dad mentioned that. My thing is, I hope Derek Stingley Jr. wants to be a leader compared to being compelled that he needs to speak up or whatever. Why not try Stingley at free safety and Ward or McGlothern on the outside? I wouldn't mind that at all. And look, I don't mind thinking outside the box. I just think outside cover corner is just so difficult, but we'll see. Trey, thanks, man. I appreciate it, dog. Trey has done it all. He's Venmo'd, he's Cashed App. I appreciate your support, Trey. It really does mean a lot. From the bottom of my heart, and I do feel compelled to say this again, Marcus did Super Chat in our video from earlier, but let's go to Trey's Super Chat here. Did say that Brennan had the best day at a recent practice, and Trey is the president. If we're doing this again, Trey is the president of the Myles Brennan fan club. Cody, thank you so much. Got to run. Everyone be good and prayers for Robert. Yes, for sure. Everyone pray for our dear friend Robert. Going through a serious cancer surgery. It happened today. I'm going to hopefully text him tomorrow and everything be okay. So Cody, we'll see you next live stream Saturday night. And look, your money is definitely going to help our move. I appreciate that. Did say Brennan did have the best day of practice. So that's good. The way I've had it explained to me is, all right, short draw, we'll see you, man. The way I had it explained to me was that coaches will go back and forth saying which player had a strong day at practice. And the reason why they do that is to make everyone feel the best, because obviously we can't see the practices ourselves. And just saying subjectively that someone had a good practice is just subjective. Like, in essence, a lot of people have good practices. It's not saying too much. But still, to hear that from Ed Orgeron really said something. And I do want to include this. If you take a look at guys like SEC StatCat, college football nerds, the RTI guy, he's a TCU fan. All of the analytics community, guys that are not involved with LSU football, they all believe Myles Brennan should be the starter. So I'll ask you guys this. Based on what you've heard so far this spring, who do you think is winning the starting quarterback job right now? Do you think it's Myles Brennan? Let me know in the chat. Do you think it's TJ Finley? Do you think it's Max Johnson? So, Trey, that's good. That's obviously good. And, it's interesting. From our video on Monday, I do find it fascinating that Myles Brennan does not wear a flak jacket during practice. I don't know. I just find it weird that some quarterbacks practice with their flak jacket on and some don't. But obviously, if you're not getting hit, it's just a preference. Ben says Max. Cliff says TJ. I like it. Amacat, you've been on this since day one. Amacat has said from the get-go that Myles, so no one transfers. Carver says he's torn on Myles and Max. I am too. That's my political stance on this. Marcus says I still expect Brennan until someone else wins it. Nick says Nuss will be Joe Burrow 2.0. 2018 or 2019 Joe Burrow? That's right, Daryl. Stingley uses the sideline. It's who would like, before we get back into some quarterback chat, who would you guys rather, a Derek Stingley deep dive, or would you rather an Eli Ricks deep dive? Which one would you rather? Would you rather a deep dive on Stingley or Ricks? Because I'll do one. I've been torn because those two are the best players on our defense. And I like both those guys a lot. Obviously, I like all the Tigers. They're my favorite team. But Ben says he would like a Elias Ricks breakdown. Trey, let me know what you would rather, because Trey really likes the deep dives. Ricks. Okay, I'll do one on Ricks. Can I let y'all in on something really quickly? I saw something on the Florida film that was very interesting. So that Florida game was so weird because, we had the Elias Ricks pick six, and then we also had that miraculous interception that Jay Ward had. It was a ricochet off McLaughlin's face mask. It's amazing what a pick six will do to a quarterback. Because what happened in that game versus Florida was, when that pick six happened, Kyle Trask was petrified to throw the football to Elias Ricks' side of the field, even when the receiver was open to that side of the field. So, I went back and I rewatched the entire Florida game. And I think since we're moving, not this week, but the next, I'll pre-record it because we're going to be doing so much stuff. I might have to take a little break from producing content for like a day or two. But I noticed that. I was like, wow. Kyle Trask in that game after the pick six said, look, I am going to avoid throwing the football to Elias Ricks' side of the field unless the guy's just wide open. And it's crazy. So that in and of itself lets you know that Elias Ricks is the best corner in the country. Because if you've shown on tape that you could pick six every single time, or you could pick six a lot, and you are really good at intercepting the football, they're going to throw to your side of the field, which is very interesting. A good example of this was, so let's go back to, and we talked about this game a little bit earlier on our video from earlier, on 1/9/12, the worst day in LSU history. I spoke to Greg McElroy after the game, and he said the game plan was simple. We are not going to throw the football to Mo Claiborne's side of the field because in the initial game, the game of the century, November 5th, 2011, Mo Claiborne almost had a pick six, and that got us one of the 3 points we scored in regulation was because of an interception return for Mo Claiborne because he was a monster. So what Nick Saban said is, look, under any circumstance, we are not going to throw the football in Mo Claiborne's direction, and we're going to make sure Tyrann Mathieu doesn't do anything crazy. They said that was the first thing that they did before anything else. They said, we're not going to throw the football to Mo Claiborne simply because of the pick six thing. Because also, for those that remember, Mo Claiborne had a huge pick six against Georgia in the SEC championship game. So it's amazing what a pick six can do to an offense in the course of a game. So I'll do a film study on that thing because I know it was like, wow, that's pretty freaking wild. Jay Ward and Todd Harris will be a dynamic safety duo. I don't know if dynamics is right word. They should be good though. But will they be Eric Reed, Brandon Taylor good? I don't know. We'll see. Cordell Flott. Charles, what's good? Did you, Charles watched our video from earlier. Good to have you on the live stream, man. Everyone welcome Charles. I guess you just watched the video and you came over here. I appreciate you, Charles. Marcus watched the video. I know Josh. Shout out to Josh Vines. He watched the video with us earlier today. Yeah, I don't know what they were doing with Cordell Flott last season. The thing this is what pisses me off. Okay, so the Devonta Smith thing happened. Then the Traylon Burks. So we kept putting him in the slot against really freaking good players. And he kept getting burned by these NFL wide receivers. So what did Bo Pelini do against Florida? First series of the game, man-on-man coverage versus Kadarius Toney, who I could argue is a tougher guard in many ways than those other guys because the dude is so freaking quick. And Cordell Flott is not. Second play of the game, Kadarius Toney just runs right by him. And we're talking 3 yards of separation. Daryl says, I think Jacoby is a sleeper in this draft. He could be. 42-inch vertical. Dude killed it at his pro day. So, yeah, Charles, did you watch the video from earlier? I hope you did, man. I'm really passionate about that SEC schedule stuff for those that watched it earlier. I'm trying not to get my hopes up, but that's very interesting that not only did that news break, no one talked about it. Nobody talked about it. which was so strange because I remember reading it. I was like, wait, there's nothing else that's come out about this. Amacat says, not really. I think Flott has a ton of talent. He just wasn't put in position. I'll say this. Did Cordell Flott take a step back? For instance, Dave Aranda, when he played his defense, he would blitz guys from all different directions, which it's harder to see where guys are coming from. Well, in Bo Pelini's defense, he hardly ever blitzed the slot corner. He hardly ever blitzed safeties and all of that. So when you know where guys are going to be, it makes it a little bit easier to throw to that slot player. So we'll see. Carvis, if you're not right about that, $20. Because Carvis makes a lot of strong. Carvis says Jacoby Stevens will be a Pro Bowl linebacker. And Carvis also said that Ty Davis Price and John Emery will be Sony Michel and Nick Chubb good. Now, I hope you're right about both those things, but that's crazy. Yeah, to your point, Amacat, yeah. Not only Smith, but freaking Kadarius Toney. Juwan, that's a good point. He also said Bryce Langston is the best defensive lineman he has ever recruited. I hope he's right about that. Let's see. AMAC, that's a good point. Charles, we talked about that earlier. Let's see. Let's see. I don't think we realize how great Grant Delpit. That's a true point, Carvis. I also think we're a little too hard on Grant Delpit's struggles in 2019 when he was playing a different position. So yeah. Stingley Sr. says Nuss reminds him of Manziel, but in a good way. You know, it's weird. I know, Amacat. It's like just crazy. Did you hear about that story that everybody has tweeted about? Look, once again, I'll go back to it briefly. That story is going to play out over the next couple of weeks and months. Any kind of take I'll give is not going to change what's going to happen on Thursday when we learn more information. Okay? None of these investigations look good, right? Whenever you hear the words AAU basketball coach, you know a story is not going to be good. Nothing has ever followed AAU basketball coach and positive. Never. Okay? I heard Kendrick Perkins going off on this very thing. Let's go to Ben with the super chat. Not to change the subject too much, but as an LSU student next year, I'm really excited for more teams in a playoff format in the future. There you go, Ben. So he's talking about our video from earlier. So if you want to watch watch. I will cliff notes part of it, though. So there is word that there could be playoff expansion. All right. Number one, will the college football playoff expand? Yes, it will, especially that all these teams have lost revenue. Look, last season was the halfway point of the initial 12-year agreement with 4 teams in the college football playoff. So what studies have shown is that if you expand the college football playoff to 8 teams, it would generate an extra $420 million of revenue. So when you have the opportunity to gain that revenue, when all these teams have lost all this money, the college football playoff could expand. It could expand by the next season. I doubt it would happen that fast. It could be the next season. We'll see what happens. So, look, to go along with what Nick says, it's better for LSU if the college football playoff doesn't expand, especially with their current scheduling format now. So what the video was talking about earlier was this story that was broken by Matt Wyatt of Mississippi State Radio, and he's a very popular YouTuber, and he said that there could be a shifting of the SEC schedule format. This needs to be repeated over and over. All the sports that we care about do not follow same scheduling rules. So, for instance, if you're an NBA fan or an MLB fan, who you play on your schedule and the order that you play them don't really matter, okay? What matters in college football, though, is your schedule. Your schedule is everything, okay? It is legit everything. And with the way that the schedules are shaped up now is that LSU is screwed compared to the other SEC West programs outside of Auburn, okay? So it is good news that the SEC is beginning to reconsider their schedule format. The schedule format in the SEC makes no sense. And as an LSU fan, you might like playing Florida every year. It does make for good news, but it's still unfair that you have to play Florida every season and Alabama has to play Tennessee every season. It's unfair. So here's a good example. This went viral last season. Someone tweeted out a graphic of SEC coaches' records, and it showed that Gus Malzahn leading into next season, or leading into last season, had a 33-31 record, while Jimbo Fisher's record was like 38 and 20 something. So what that fails to mention is Jimbo Fisher gets to play South Carolina every season, which is an awful college football program, whereas Auburn has to play Georgia every season, which is a top 10 program. So since the college football cross-division rival rule was put in place, Texas A&M's cross-division rival became South Carolina. So guess how many times has South Carolina beaten Texas A&M? 0 times. It's unfair. It's so unfair. It blows my mind. And this is not just coming from an LSU perspective. They really want to expand on most years it's going to have 3 SEC teams. So look, here's the thing. If you expand to 8 teams, what people say, it's going to be the 5 Power 5 conference champions, 1 group of 5 team, and 2 at-large teams.
I gotta go get Booger. Shit.
Wait, you let Booger out?
I did. I'm sorry.
What are you doing leaving Booger out for that long?
I didn't mean to. Mama.
Go get Booger, please.
She is right here at the door.
She was waiting right there at the door.
Come on, babe. Come on.
I don't think we've hit $50 yet for Booger.
Come on.
We might not get Booger in here tonight. I don't think we've hit our 50 spot.
She's going upstairs, so they're at luck.
Oh, she's going to bed?
Yeah.
Well, we might not see Booger tonight.
You go with that? Come on.
No, actually, no, we did hit 50 from Marcus. Going it.
I'll bring her before she goes to sleep.
Yep.
Let me get here.
But for real, if you want a super chat or Cash App or Venmo, go ahead and drop it in. Come on, baby girl.
Here she is, everybody.
Let me get her. Oh,
goodness,
did
she's
y'all hear that?
grunting.
Please tell me y'all heard that grunt. Huh? Yes, we told her we're moving. She was like, "Did you tell them we're moving?"
What'd you get in there at there, Mom?
Charles, I hope we keep the cupcake games because that money goes to those universities, those non-Power 5
Hey, Uncle
universities,
Cliff.
which helps out greatly. Everyone say hi to Big Ed.
She's wide awake tonight. She just came in from outside. Y'all are used to seeing her wide awake.
She used to being ready to go to bed.
Yeah.
Everyone say hi to Big Ed. Purple nail polish. That's right. All right, everyone say night-night. She's ready.
She's ready. She's exhausted. She had her food. She went out. She ready to go get Mom.
Ready to go get in bed.
You ready to go to bed, Mom?
All right, guys, we're going to keep this going. Eric Reed was pretty good. Yeah, he was pretty good. Really good football player.
I thought I was going to have to come get you out there, girl.
Good dude, too. I knew Eric pretty well in college. Really, really cool dude. Everybody says, yay for Bug.
Yay, Bug.
Oh, Kane, you just missed Bug. You missed a juicy one. Let's see here. What's up, Johnny? Good to hear you. Bug's the boss around here. Yeah, Kane, you missed. God, this has been a crazy one. It's just so wild, though, that all that news broke today. It still blows my freaking mind. I would like to see the cupcake games go away. So, look, there's a huge benefit to those cupcake games, though, because it helps subsidize those non-Power 5 teams and their athletic programs. So, yes, it's a cupcake game. Yes, the game isn't competitive. I could live fine without it. But knowing that it gives those teams the opportunity, and it also gives the opportunities for backups to play in blowouts, which could help your program down the road as well. Or you could lose that game like Alabama lost to ULM, or what happened with us, but still. What's up, Paris? I like it. Dwight McLaughlin should be our third starting corner. I like it. So I would not mind tell me what you think about this, Paris. I would not mind this starting lineup. I would not mind Derek Stingley Jr. at one corner, Dwight McLaughlin at the other corner, and Elias Ricks covering the slot as the nickel. I would not mind that at all. I would not. Kenneth, what's good? So Daryl says, Carter, I'm going to figure out some Venmo and do some cha-chings. My wife uses Zelle. Zelle? I don't really know Zelle all that well. I don't think I have a Zelle profile. So let's answer Paris' super chat here. Let's start with this. Who should be the starting third corner? I'm not asking who should be the starting nickel per se. But if one corner is Derek Stingley Jr. and the other corner is Elias Ricks, who should be the third starting corner? Should it be Derek Davis Jr. as a slot corner in a Chauncey Gardner-Johnson type of role? Should it be Jay Ward? Should he play that role and Derek Davis Jr. play the safety? What would you do? Let me know what you think. So comment to Pierce's super chat. Eric says, I'm a fan of introducing the year to HBCU games. Yeah, I think that would be pretty spectacular. So obviously the introduction to HBCU football has become more widespread with Deion Sanders being the Jackson State coach. But, HBCU football, especially in Louisiana with Southern and Grambling and, the history of HBCU players from the state of Louisiana, most notably, off the top of your head, Doug Williams, that would be great. I would. I think an LSU Southern game would be fantastic for the city of Baton Rouge. Watch them later. I could distract. So look, I will mention this because someone complained about the ads. Here's the thing about the ads. Okay. Yes, you're going to see a few ads in my video. Understand those ads, while they don't come close to the super chats and the Venmos and the Cash Apps that I get from you guys, they do support the channel. They do help subsidize some of the content that you see on this channel, because this is what I do full time. I have no other source of income outside of a few college announcing gigs, radio gigs, comedy here and there. So I understand the ads can be annoying. I totally get it. Trust me, it's a little frustrating to sit through an ad or hit skip ad or listen to a 15-second ad. It varies based on your location, but understand that they aren't there just to be there. No, if I could just do a channel where it's just based totally on donations and whatever, but understand that those ads, if you sit through that small little ad, even if you skip it and you watch the whole video, you are doing a world of support for me. So I just felt like I needed to say it because someone publicly went off on it the other day, and there's very little I could do about it. Mel Blunt. Oh God, yeah, Mel was a player. Mel was a ball player. So to answer Pierce's question, AMAC says, honestly, I like Jay Ward. This would be my best secondary, Paris. I would go with this. I like Derek Davis Jr. a lot. I really do. I would like him at one of the starting safeties. And I know that goes against starting true freshmen. I don't like starting true freshmen, but I think he's a real deal. Start Todd Harris at the other safety, then Jay Ward at the nickel, and then Stingley and Ricks. I think that would be the best secondary for LSU. Then we have Sage Ryan that we have to discuss. How much does he know the playbook? How much up to speed will he be from day one? We'll see. We'll see. Wells Fargo. So that would be my starting secondary, Paris. But based on your starting secondary, I wouldn't mind this either. Jay Ward, Todd Harris, Dwight McGlothern, Stingley, and Ricks. I'll say this. I don't think Dwight McGlothern's best position would be slot corner, just based on the little bit of film I saw against him against Florida. So, did Dwight McGlothern play well when he played? Yes and no. He struggled some against Ole Miss. Against Florida, he was good. I thought the touchdown he gave up was BS. I thought that was offensive pass interference. I'll also say this about the Florida game. Mo Hampton, his worst game was that Florida game. let's just say this: Mo Hampton didn't do Dwight McGlothern many favors in that game. We'll put it that. So yeah, I mean that's basically it. Once again, that full disclosure, your donations is the number one source. They far outweigh the little bit of money I get from the ads, but I do get a little bit, and those little bits do begin to add up. So there you go. And that goes for anything, any YouTube channel you watch, whether it be mine or Matt Moscona or whoever, those ad reads that people do, or if you see an ad on here, understand that Moscona or whoever, they're not doing it because, they're doing it for fun. There is a reason why, they do it. Yeah, I was just so wrong on Mo Hampton. I thought he was going to be special. I don't know. I don't know. What about Jordan Tolles? Hey, look, if I'm Jordan Tolles and, I hear Ed Orgeron say, we need to get another safety in the portal, and you hear live streamers like me never mention Jordan Tolles, I would go up to Daronte Jones and say, look, everyone's counting me out, but if you give me an opportunity, I'm going to prove everyone wrong. And that's the thing, really to play defensive back, you really have to have an attitude about you. Kane says, why do you think no one has been fired at LSU? I don't know. It's a good question. It's a question everyone's asking right now. I'm not as involved with, administration involving LSU. But yeah, no one to have lost their jobs. I'll say this and then I'll move on. A month from now, I would be shocked if someone is not fired. Yeah, Charles, but here's the thing. If we keep saying, well, last season it was a pandemic and that was why, well, everybody had to deal with the pandemic. So what I don't want to happen is the excuse to keep coming up that the reason why LSU was bad last season is because of the pandemic. I'm still a member of the Columbia Records album of the month. Okay, yeah, I like that. Why didn't this? That's kind of a weird thing. Hold on. Let me see. Tyler, did you send me a Venmo? Let me see. Why is this not popping up? Tyler, let me know if you sent that Venmo. It's not popping up on my... Oh, there it is. Here we go. I see it. Tyler, thank you. Tyler sent me a Venmo and it said Burrow for president. I'm for it, man. I'm for my Joey B for president. Thank you, Tyler. I appreciate your support, man. What's up, Ahmad? Or is it Ahmad or Ahmed? Ahmad. Ahmad Rashad. Ahmad Ross. I like it. Corey says, what do you think of Jacoby Matthews' top 6? Okay, what was his top 6? It was LSU, A&M, Florida, and who else? Let me see. Pull up his top 6. LSU. No, A&M wasn't in his top 6. It was LSU, Florida, USC, Arizona State, Texas, and Clemson. No real surprise. I mean, look, obviously Arizona State got the Ryan Clark's little son, and I mean, Herman's building a monster out there. Now, you're right about that, Daryl. Trust me. Those Venmos and Super Chats really add up. I got to shout out Paris. I mean, every single time Paris is on here, she supports. I really do appreciate that, especially someone like Paris who's working on becoming a great journalist. Big shout out to her. Do you think they will actually build a Burrow statue? They should. I mean, I'm not a big fan of statues like. No, actually, I like statues. I think they'll wait, though. I'm for let Burrow's Cincinnati career finish and then NFL career finish and then let him do the statue. Okay, Davis. Appreciate that. David, I appreciate you. I think you can go past the. Thank you, Paris. I appreciate you. Appreciate you. They should build a Gerald Brown. How about Lindsey Scott? I'm proud of Lindsey Scott at Nicholls State. Let's go to Johnny, who sends in a Venmo. Johnny, I appreciate you for that. We got a few Venmos tonight. Bug the Dog appreciates that. Let's see. Do you think Cam Lewis in any way, shape, form, or fashion the player to most gain from the fresh eyes and need for depth? Yeah. If I'm Cam Lewis, I should be very excited that a new safety coach came in. Now, to be honest about Cam Lewis, he played some against Texas A&M this season. Wasn't too great, wasn't too bad. He played some in the 2019 team. He got some playing time in the Clemson game. He got some playing time in the Alabama game, where on a critical 4th and 3, LSU put him man-to-man on Jerry Jeudy, and that resulted in a touchdown. Then again, which safety can guard Jerry Jeudy? So there's nothing he could have really done about that. I hope it works out for him. Turns out to be a Ricky Jefferson type, just a good safety. That would be very helpful. So we'll see. That's a good question. I've thought about it, but what? Trust me, I've done media for a long time. Okay, so full disclosure, I worked hard to get an LSU player to come on my former podcast they used to do at SEC Country, and I worked hard to get him on the channel. And then I went back and looked at all the player interviews I did during that time, and I love interviews. Okay, I've gotten to interview some really cool people, whether that be Reggie Bush or Kyrie Irving or whoever. And I'm not just talking about interviews. I'm talking about one-on-one interviews. I got the one-on-one interview Nick Saban before, which was a huge moment in my for me personally, because Nick Saban meant a lot to me as a kid, and for a lot of you as well. Here's the thing about interviews is some interviews do really well, but when I went back and looked at some of the analytics of interviews I've done with other projects, those are some of the most poorly performing videos, podcasts that I've ever done. Now, I've never done an interview on this channel, and I actually like interviewing. I like getting to know players and coaches and people around LSU, but there's so much effort in getting the interview and getting the schedules right and all of that. So, yeah, I'm open to it in the future. It's a lot harder than it looks. So it really does. Daryl, we'll see you Saturday night for the next live stream, man. Paris says, I'm hearing the interior offensive line is getting pushed around by Mason and Joe Evans. Any concern? I'm kind of nervous. No concern there. Look, first thing, Mason Smith is a monster. I really do think he's special. And look, you guys know how I am. I don't like to overhype freshmen, but there are a few in every single class. So, like last season, I thought Eric Gilbert would be good, but from the get-go, I thought Elias Ricks was going to be special, and that exact thing actually turned out to be true. You have to look in each and every freshman's tape, their evaluations, what people say about him. And you really have to do the research to determine whether or not that player can immediately contribute. And for next season, there's only 2 freshmen I actually feel that way for once again, and I think that's Derek Davis Jr. and Mason Smith. I'm a little concerned about Sage Ryan because he did have an injury last season, and he is not an early enrollee. So, the 2 true freshmen I think that are going to play a lot and be spectacular, Mason Smith, clear-cut number 1, and then Derek Davis Jr. number 2. And then, I really do think Mason's just a real deal. Joseph Evans is a little interesting, but, some guys just break out. I don't think any one of us thought Ricky Jean-Francois would be the player that he was. He just kind of broke out. The same thing's kind of true for Drake Nevis. Different defensive tackles break out at some of the weirdest times. So hearing the interior offensive line getting pushed around by those guys, look, that group just wasn't good last season. Liam Shanahan, he started the season really poorly. He ended the season really strong. His Alabama tape was really good. You guys don't know how I feel about Chasen Hines. I just don't see it. Ironically, Chasen Hines' left guard tape is better than his right guard tape from in 2018 when he played left guard at times. Ed Ingram, he's hurt a lot. It's so hard to get him completely healthy. Now, also keep in mind that they're also playing a lot of backups as well. So the Cardell Thomases, the Anthony Bradfords, the Charles Turners, those guys could be the ones getting pushed around. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, Glenn Dorsey was a monstrous freshman. See, some guys are just that good, and Mason Smith is just that good. Now, how good will he be next season? Well, it varies. Remember this. So, Glenn Dorsey is a good example here. So when Glenn Dorsey played, teams were still very run heavy. Teams still mostly played 4-3s. So when Glenn Dorsey was around, having a 3 technique run stopping defensive tackle, having a Warren Sapp or a Dana Stubblefield or anyone like that was very important. So now with Mason Smith, teams run the spread more often. So, being good against the run is not nearly as important as being good against the pass. What's interesting is Ed Orgeron has already said that Mason Smith is their best interior pass rusher right now. So we'll see. So yeah, Paris, it is concerning a little bit, but it's also not because, Mason's having a really good spring and Joseph Evans seems to be the breakout star, which is fascinating. I have a tough time believing Glenn Logan, who's hurt right now, and Neil Farrell are just going to be completely out of the rotation. If Joseph Evans is being as good as he is and Mason Smith being as good as he is right now, what's going to happen to Jaquelin Roy? Jaquelin Roy was decent as a true freshman. Was he spectacular? He wasn't spectacular. He was good. Then we have Jacoby and Guillory, and then you have Eric Taylor and those guys. Ahmad, thanks you for the cash app, my friend. For the dope daily LSU content. Let's go. I like it. So, Paris, hopefully that answers your question regarding Mason Smith. Man, I love Mason Smith, man. I'm in love with this kid. I really do think he's special. I think it's so cool to have a talent like that from Homa on LSU's team. I just think it's great. Ugh. You know, if you just look at him, he just looks like a dude. Eric, you always come in to chime in to tell me shut up. Huh? Eric is a hater. Eric, bring that hate. You can't say shut up 3 times. I bet you can't say shut up 3 times, Eric. Kane, that was pretty crazy. Leonard, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. Ahmad, you know what's funny? So, like, when you get a Cash App, it's kind of weird because on the Cash App email, it says Cash App does Bitcoin. So when I looked at your thing, it looked as if, like when I first looked down, I thought you said you sent me 10 Bitcoin. And I was like, Ahmad, you got it like that? You're sending me 10 Bitcoin right now? Jonathan, what's good? You already missed Bug. I was like, Ahmad, 10. Wow, I don't know what I'm gonna do with these decentralized currencies you're sending me. Bug strong at linebacker. Let's talk about him. Paris, let me know if I answered your question about Mason good enough. King Mo, what's good, man? Oh, Mason Smith. Charles, that's a good question. I know Coach O said Myles Brennan had the best practice this past Thursday, so that's interesting. And I do want to add that you guys and gals, you are more than welcome to send me Bitcoin donations. Or what is it? Ethereum? Ethereum? How do you say that? I just burped. Or if you want to send me NBA Top Shot, I'm down. I'm down with some NFTs, baby. If you want to pay me in forms of chicken wings, I'm down too. If you want to send me $1,000 Pluckers gift certificate, I'm down with that too. Jonathan, I still have your Applebee's gift card. I've not used that. I've not gone to get my $1 Bahama Mamas. Bug seemed like a downhill thumper. Oh, Bug strong. Yeah, Charles, you could send me a Popeyes gift card. You know I'm down. Yeah, Bug's a thumper. He's a beast. We talked about him in our film study from Monday from the practice footage. This was our practice footage video. I did see that, Ahmad. I think someone else brought that up earlier. I don't know. You should mine Bitcoin if you could find graphics card. I wish I knew what that meant. Bitcoin mining. I wish I knew what that meant. Hopefully, it's not a curse word. Hope I don't get demonetized. Well, I appreciate that, Paris. Let's see. Charles is going to send me $1,000 in Popeyes gift certificates. I like it. I'll take it. my God. I always promised that I wouldn't talk Pelicans on here. But I just saw this that Atlanta went 11 of 11 for 3 against the Pelicans tonight. I saw this on T-Bob's Twitter. The Hawks set a record for threes made in a quarter, going 11 of 11. I mean, God dog, pals. Can we bring back Drew Holiday? SEC Network Plus is airing the spring game. So I think you got to have like an ESPN Plus account to watch it. I don't know. It's going to be weird. Cool, Amacat. I'll learn how to do that. I'm still trying to figure out what the heck is a Roth IRA because I signed up for one recently. It's like adult stuff. Imagine next year with Max TJ Nuss Walker. That'd be great. Heck, next year's quarterback might be Myles Brennan. He still has 2 years of eligibility remaining. It's all a Ponzi scheme? Huh? Really, Ahmad? So you were watching the Pelicans while I was doing my stream? Really, Ahmad? You're undivided. Let's see. If Miles stays another season, I don't know. I just hope everyone plays well. I hope everyone has a good time. I hope Jason Hines turns into Alan Faneca. See you Saturday night, Paris. Thank you for all your support. I have Leonard. It's my favorite freaking thing. I freaking love the Pelicans. I would go down and watch the games with my dad. Man. It was our favorite thing to do. It was our favorite thing to do. Now, we'd have to make a pretty sizable drive to get down there, but we freaking love the Pels. I freaking love them. I really do. Now, I'm a little bit I wouldn't call myself a poser friend because you could only be a true fan of a team that you actually watch 90% of their games, like 80 to 90% of those games. I'm a fan in the sense that I'm just a fan, okay? I'm not a super-duper fan. I'm a super Pelicans fan. Now, I'm an LSU fan. I'm a super-duper LSU fan. Oh, I loved them when they were the Hornets. My dad would drive me down to go see Baron freaking Davis, not Chris Paul. I love CP3. In fact, I did have a CP3 top shot, but I freaking love Baron Davis. And that team was like Baron Davis, Peja Stojakovic, and Jamal Mashburn and Jamal McGlure and PJ Brown. and those guys. My dad and I got to run into PJ Brown one time in Chicago. Got to hang out with him. It was great. Heck, put Bug Strong at running back. I'm telling you, you'd run some dudes over. Bug Strong also has a kid on the way. So congrats to him on that too. Oh, those Tyson Chandler teams, the CP3, the Crescent City Connection. I actually have both of the New Orleans Hornets official SGA bobbleheads of Tyson Chandler and Chris Paul. Who will start next Saturday at quarterback? Good question. Not this Saturday, but the next. My best guess would be Max Johnson, and then Myles Brennan, and then TJ. And that was, I think, what we'll probably see is Max Johnson and Myles Brennan, and then in the second half we'll see Garrett Nussmeier and TJ Finley. Tyler says if you play Max, it gives you the best chance of winning. It just depends on how you look at it. So, for instance, okay, LSU beat both Florida and Ole Miss. You guys saw that, right? Well, did you know that LSU on a yards per play basis actually averaged less yards per play than what actually happened, than what Ole Miss and Florida actually gave up? So efficiency-wise, we did not perform offensively as well as other teams did versus those teams. Now, in Max Johnson's case, there were a lot of drops in both of those games, but still. Oh, okay. Yeah, I did read your statement wrong. You play Max if he gives you the best chance of winning. I agree with that. I do. Leonard, yeah. Yeah. I've been lucky to get some decent seats. Very lucky. Man, I just love the Smoothie King Center. I do. I just do. Cause you got it. I got a Pharrell song stuck in my head. Blurred lines. So hopefully that answered your question, King Mo. Now, we are 2 hours into this thing. Let's see. I don't think I see any super chats or anything like that. So we'll go ahead and wrap this thing on up. If you guys have any questions about LSU football, I will be here for the next 5 minutes. If you guys have any random questions, you can ask me anything you want, such as my favorite color. What's my favorite movie? What's my favorite flavor of chicken wings? What's Hey putting on the stove tonight? Kidding. She picked up some chimichangas from me earlier. Chimichangas. Chimichangas. Drums or flats? Good question. Flats all day, baby. Flats. I actually like them both equally. I know it's political answer there. I like them both equally. Flats all day. Favorite hot sauce? Ooh. Huh? John, I'm actually really passionate about this answer. So, from an LSU perspective, the best hot sauce is Come On Man hot sauce, which is Charles Alexander's hot sauce. College football LSU Hall of Famer. Charles Alexander. But my real favorite hot sauce is Cholula. I eat Cholula on everything, and I never go away from it. I like it that much. Gumbo, eggs, Cholula is just the best hot sauce. The original Cholula. I've actually, as big of a Cholula fan as I am, I've never had any of the other flavors. Cholula is that great. Like, the meat is better and juicier. That's just true. No homo. But you're just telling the truth. It is better. Yeah, I mean, Myles is a better thrower of the football, and Max gives you a little bit more variance on with your offense as far as where you can throw the football. Josh, where did you go? Yeah, you missed Bug again. Goodness, Josh. Josh was getting all packed up, ready for his Bucky's road trip. Spicy garlic from Buffalo Wild Wings. Best sauce on earth? That's the best sauce on earth? I mean, goodness gracious. Now, if Buffalo Wild Wings would sponsor my show, I would agree with that. No, I do like beat ups. I really do like beat ups. I think they're pretty good. Tyler said no cap. I know, Leonard, the best sauce on earth. Like, think about like the best sauce, like that you're just saying sauce, like that's better than any Stubbs barbecue sauce or anything like that. Spicy garlic? I know, Eric. I'm just like the best. Hmm? The best. Oh man. The best? Well, here's what you should do, Tyler. If you really want to help out the pod or the YouTube channel, whatever you want to call it, Tyler, you need to direct message Buffalo Wild Wings and say, look, you need to sponsor the Power Hour LSU channel. We love the channel. Please sponsor the channel because I love your sauce. Okay. So Tyler, if you do that, I want you to do that, Tyler. I want you to go to your social media. It could be your Facebook, it could be your MySpace, it could be your Instagram. I don't care. Send a message to Buffalo Wild Wings to say, look, there's this dude. I don't know where he's from. He live streams in front of a black curtain. Sponsor his channel because I love your sauce and I love his content. There you go, Tyler. I need a good national sponsor. And then Hey would be like, oh, well, finally, you're making some money with this. Or Raising Cane's. I know Todd Graves. I haven't talked to him in a long time. Does MySpace still exist? Hold on. Let's see. Hell yeah, MySpace still exists. There's a Dave Grohl story. There's like news stories on here. A Benedict Cumberbatch story. What's that mean? So random. Josh, thanks for that super chat. I really thought Raising Cane's had the best sauce. They do have good sauce. Tyler and Josh, y'all better send messages to Canes and Buffalo Wild Wings and say, look, we need you to sponsor their channel. Look, the LSU stories, front page of ESPN.com. Wild. Raising Canes, I like it. Okay, Tyler, I'll try it out. I'll go try it out. Well, all right, guys. Well, I appreciate everyone that tuned into the live chat tonight. We will have another video. I was putting the microphone away. We will have another video released tomorrow around 5:30, 5:45, 6 p.m. So every weekday, you're going to get a video at 5:15, 30-ish. Okay. It'll be around that time. So whenever you get home from work, I know Leonard's always there for the premiere. About 5:15, 5:30, you'll get a video tomorrow. Now, what's the video going to be about tomorrow? I don't know. We'll see what happens. Jared, what's good, man? Leonard, no, we don't, but Haley's dad is like an actual pit master. So, you know, he's better than most places. So, hope you enjoyed this live stream. Once again, if you are the praying type, please keep Robert in your thoughts and prayers. I'm going to try and get an update on him, and I'll keep you guys updated on Saturday night. Okay. So next live stream Saturday night at 7 Central. Tomorrow, another video will be released around 5:15, 5:30. Okay. And let me do this real quick before we sign off here. If you want more Power LSU content, there you go. Oh, Josh, thank you. Right there at the end. So, Josh, on Saturday, let us know how your Buc-ee's trip went in Alabama. That's really cool. And we'll tell Booger good night. That's great, man. So if you want to watch our video from earlier today regarding the college football playoff, why you don't want the college football playoff to expand, just let us know. Okay? It is Power Hour LSU. Boom!
Good night, baby. Good night, baby.
Hold on, not, hold on, not.
I'm going to bed.